Hi everyone, welcome back to Nasidyanka. I just came out here to a little corner near the woods and it sounds so beautiful. I can hear a whole orchestra of creatures, the bugs, the birds. It's just beautiful. So I thought about just recording a quick video. So it's those of you who follow this channel, you guys know, and those of you who are new to this is a channel where I talk about Bulgarian history, culture, tradition, and faith. And so I wanted to introduce you to a timeline of a more modern chronology of the Bulgarian states or the Bulgarian countries. And the source that I'm using is called my first book about Bulgaria, and I am going to write the resource as I typically do in the section below where I place comments. I think it's the description section, comments and description. So this is just a quick abbreviated, and I want to say more modern. So, but when I say modern, this is really about like the first centuries history of Bulgaria. In many previous episodes, I have talked about how Bulgaria dates from not just hundreds but thousands of years ago. We have antiquity, history from antiquity. We also have history that goes through the Middle Ages and then the more recent years. So this one pertains to the years since 165 AD. So I just wanted to kind of catch you up. I'm also sharing a map which I hand drew using my cheat sheet here, of course the book that I'm pulling this information from, and I'm going to post it on the screen so that you guys can better see it. But this is what the map looks like. It is showing what the Bulgarian states look like, how far the Bulgarians spread during those years. So just to arrange myself here, the breeze feels amazing, by the way, in this day. So I'm going to talk about, like I said, Bulgaria in the Middle Ages. And so I'll go through a quick overview, and then I'll talk to you about the three Bulgarian countries in particular during that time. So the Bulgarians in Europe, this is going to cover the 2nd through the 6th centuries. So in the year of 165 AD, the mythical knyaz or Prince Avitoho set in he set the beginning of the Bulgarian state. In the year of 354 AD, the name Bulgarians was actually mentioned for the first time, they say, in a Roman script. That's not the first time ever in history, but that's concerning the Roman script. Bulgarians have been mentioned by many other countries and earlier civilizations. In the year of 372 AD, the Huns crossed the Volga River. They began to move west while joining together, like combining together with Bulgarian tribes along with them, like themselves. They kind of like dragged Bulgarians, like combined together with the Bulgarians. In the year of 420 AD, Huns got together with the Bulgarians and they settled down in the area of Pananoia. And you guys can easily see that in the map. Again, this is much closer to Italy. So the boot here is nowadays Italy, of course, but Pananoia is between Italy and nowadays Bulgaria, and then the Black Sea is right here. So you guys feel free to refer to this, even if you were to pause the video later on the image that I am sharing. That's clearer, better to see. So okay, let's see where I was. So in the year of 422 AD, Bulgarians defeated in a battle the German tribe Langobardi, and they killed its king. In the year of 480 AD, the Byzantine Emperor Zenon called the Bulgarians for help, for the first time in his battle with the Goths. So he reached out to the Bulgarians for help. By the end of the 5th century, according to one script from the Chronicles of Manasseh, the Bulgarians crossed the Danube River near Vidin, and they began to settle in the land of Ohrid Lake. This is a Macedonian region, and feel free to look at my videos on the Macedonian situation because, as I've mentioned before, it is a Bulgarian territory. It always belonged to the Bulgarians. In the year 493 through 558 AD, the Bulgarians completed 12 great military campaigns. You guys might call those expeditions or marches in the English language. So the Bulgarians completed 12 of those in the lands of Byzantium. In the year of 559 AD, the Bulgarians, under the leadership of Khan Zabergan, reached the walls of Constantinople. In the year of 568 AD, the Avar tribe created their own state in Pannonia, a land where multitudes of Bulgarians already were living at the time. In the year of 570 AD, the Turks reached the shores of the Black Sea and subjugated, or maybe I should say subdued or overpowered, one part of the Bulgarian tribes there. So now I'm going to move to the 3 Bulgarian countries. So the 3 Bulgarian countries that were known during that period of time are called, or at least we refer to them as Old Great Bulgaria, Bulgaria, and the Volga Bulgaria. So here is the chronology of Old Great Bulgaria, again going back to the 1st centuries. So toward the end of the 6th century, the Bulgarian tribes were made subject to the Avars and the Turks. In the year of 632 AD, Khan Kubrat, who was a Bulgarian Khan leader, united the Bulgarian tribes. Remember, you guys, there used to be, this is the manner of the Bulgarians, they were spread all over the world. There are many scriptures and facts and data nowadays that are talking about ancient Bulgarians having reached Egypt as well as Americas and Asia. But just to sit, with the Middle Ages, more recent times, he united those who were in the European and the Asian kind of regions. So Khan Kubrat united the Bulgarian tribes there. In the year of 635 AD, Bulgaria signed a peace treaty, like a contract with Byzantium. So Khan Kubrat received the title of a patrician, or like we say, patrici. He was from the family Dulo, and these are basically family lineages that you can, trace the Bulgarian leaders. I think it's really amazing that we have tracked them and we have timelines and family chronologies of our leaders. 641 AD, this is the year when the Emperor Heraclius, we say Irakli, his name, he used to be in kind of like good and friendly alliance relations with the Bulgarian leader. So he came to power. In the year of 665 AD, Khan Kubrat, again the Bulgarian Khan Kubrat, passed away, he died. So his oldest son, Batbayan, succeeded him. He remained together with one part of the Bulgarians in the lands of Stara Planina. This is we call it the Old Mountain. It is one of the longest ranges of nowadays Bulgaria that kind of like divides the country south from north. So then we move on to the year of 665 through the year of 668 AD. This is when Khan Kubrat's sons, leading separate Bulgarian tribes, actually settled in new lands. So Old Bulgaria fell apart. Now, this raises up a lot of other questions. For example, why did they settle in new lands? What motivated them to do so? One of the things to keep in mind, and I will be talking about it again in future episodes, but is that the Khazar, for example, Khazars would attack them. So, they were receiving attacks from different places, so they had to take action and relocate. Okay, so this is so far about old great Bulgaria in the Middle Ages. Okay, so let's move on to the second Bulgarian state, which in Bulgarian language literally means country. It wasn't just a state like, the states of the United States of America. These were countries that belonged all to the Bulgarians. So anyway, so the second one, like I mentioned earlier, was actually Bulgaria. And this is the Bulgaria that we are familiar with today. So after the year of 665 through 680 AD, Hanasparuch led his own Bulgarian group, Bulgarians, and settled, and so he lived in the region of Ongol in the delta of the Danube River. In the year of 680 AD, the Bulgarians defeated the Byzantine army, which was led at the time by the emperor. So the Bulgarian army was very strong, extremely, exceptionally. This has been, again, remarked and how can I say, taken note of throughout history. People have written about this. So in that way, the Bulgarians crossed the Danube River and they took the entire region of Dobruja. So now we're looking at, let's see, on the map we're looking at where nowadays Bulgaria is, right by the Black Sea. And once again, you guys can refer to this on the screen later at some point if you so choose to pause the video and look at the names. It will be easier in that way. So in the year of 681 AD, this is the year when Byzantium officially acknowledged the new Bulgarian state or country with a peace treaty. Now, I want to make a note here because this is the year that common school books are teaching us nowadays. Even if you were to go to Wikipedia and I don't know, like just common knowledge, common education, currently popular books are saying that the Bulgarian country was created in the year of 681. Well, that's wrong. And the truth is that there already had been existing many Bulgarian states, countries prior to 681. However, the year 681 is the year when the Byzantine Empire, for the first time, acknowledged formally, publicly, Bulgaria as a legitimate country. And there were multiple Bulgarian states, like I mentioned, since antiquity. As such was the manner of the Bulgarians. However, again and again, the defeat of Byzantium led to the official acknowledgement of our territories. So you can see up until today, the leading kind of political powers, forces on a worldly scale continue to produce lies about Bulgarian roots, territories, where we come from and so forth. It's just typically, it just continues to be the same old problem. Like, it's a question of power and control. It's not a question of the true facts. If we're to talk about the reality of the matter, it's going to look different from what the pop culture or political leaders are telling us. So anyway, that's my own commentary there. I'm coming back to the chronology that I put from my little book here. The year of 707 AD is when the Bulgarian Khan Tervel, now I've mentioned him many times in previous videos, feel free to watch those, but he is a canonized Orthodox Christian saint in our country, and he also is the savior of Europe from the Arabic Muslim invasion. So the year 707 AD is when he, Khan Tervel, reassured in a peaceful manner the acquisition of the region of Zagore. And the year of 718 AD, the Bulgarian army defeated the Arabs who had surrounded Constantinople. Again, the Arabs were invading with a plan of taking over the entirety of Europe. 756 AD is the year when more than a year, basically that's about more than 100 years later, this is when the Bulgarians lost their first battle with the Byzantine Empire. Living in the West, having been in America for a long time, I think about what people's concept of history may be. And I know America has a long history for Native Americans, but it's a very short, brand new history when we talk about the settlement of the Europeans, the settlement of cities and villages as we nowadays know them. Bulgaria has not just hundreds of years worth of history, but thousands of years. So when we talk about Bulgarians losing one battle, this is literally, if you guys can imagine, hundreds of years having gone by with pressure, oppression, battles, threats from the Byzantines, from the Mongols, from the Arabs, and Bulgarians have withstood those. So it's something worthy of recognizing as well. So let's move on to the third Bulgarian state's story here. Okay, so we're moving on to the third Bulgarian state or country again in the Middle Ages. So now we're looking at Han Kutrag's Bulgarian group, Bulgarians. This is going to concern the area that's closer to Asia, and it's called Volga, Bulgaria. It's on this side of the map. So when you look at the map, you're going to look at this part. So the first part of Bulgarians are here around Italy. The second part are nowadays Bulgaria. The third part, now we're looking here at Asia and Russian territories. I will speak a lot more in great depth in the future about the Volga Bulgarians, but for now, I'll just cover the basic chronology. So, after the year of 665 AD, the Bulgarian Han Kutrag, again, Han is a title of a leader, so he was one of the Bulgarian leaders. In fact, he was the second son of Han Asparuh. So Han Kutrag pulled to the north. In the beginning of the 8th century, Bulgarian tribes reached the lands where the Kama River flows into the Volga River region. So they settled there, and they set the beginning of a new Bulgarian state. Again, state is a country. Around the year of 922 AD, Han al-Mush introduced Islam in the Volga, Bulgarian country. So think about it strategically here. This is my commentary again, as you guys know I do. Think about how much closer to Asia and so in other words to the Muslims, to the Arabs and to the Mongols, geographically those Bulgarians were situated. So the pressure, the political pressure, the military threats that those were applying to those Bulgarians must have been so much more powerful than the power that they already were applying to the other Bulgarians further west in Europe. And why I say that is because I don't want us to be quickly judging why they made that decision. As you all know, I talk about faith, and clearly Bulgaria is an Orthodox Christian country nowadays. Of course, we have our minorities and we do respect them. As a matter of fact, here's a little piece of detail for those who might ask me tons of questions right away about what Bulgaria does with minorities. Well, number one, a fact about Bulgaria is that we have a popular plaza in Sofia, Bulgaria, where different religions meet at the same plaza. So the Muslims have their mosque, the Bulgarians have their Orthodox church, and the Jews have their own temple as well. So the point is that they all meet at the same plaza, the same square, without arguments, without war. This is a mosque, this is a synagogue, this is a church sharing the same plaza. And this has been there for a long time. This is part of our culture. On top of that, Bulgaria also has a Russian population that has moved to live on our territory a long time ago. We have Ukrainians who have moved to live in our territory, Armenians that we have given shelter to. Bulgaria also has a prize in terms of giving shelter to the Jews during the Holocaust. All these are facts that they should be worldly known. I mean, they are, in the registries, but nobody talks about them in popular school science and history classes, so I might as well give them voice here. So as far as minorities respect going, Bulgaria has always been peaceful and respectful of people's differences. Now, the way in which Orthodoxy was accepted in the Danube, Bulgaria, was very natural because our ancestors from antiquity were prepared. They knew even to recognize Christ's teachings. Now, I have a video which I have prepared to talk about this, but I haven't posted it yet, so it's going to take me a little while to work on that piece of information, but it is very interesting to see how the truth of the Orthodox Christian faith has been recognized by people, and it is recognized by people in the world who seek true knowledge, the facts. I mean, the same has happened with the Aleut Alaskans in America, for example. They were prepared, they knew it, whether in visions, whether in wisdom, but they knew to expect that, and so they voluntarily accepted it. It wasn't imposed on them in the same manner in which other perverted, and I don't call them Christians, I mean Christian sects, later on in the ages have applied. The sad news is that nowadays modern people are associating Christianity with those sects, but they have nothing to do with the original faith as Christ has brought it in. So this is my long spiel here. Come back to what I'm talking about. I am saying that it's not right, and it's not the Orthodox Christian spirit to be judging people's decisions in this way. Yes, it wasn't right, that it's not commendable that the Volga Bulgarians accepted Islam. Obviously, it's a foreign faith, but given the circumstances, we have to keep an open mind on why they may have done so. Now, the consequences of their country are evident as the history states, and I will introduce you here, so watch what happened with them. So, between the years of 977 AD through 997 AD, those Volga Bulgarians pushed back for military marches or campaigns, we say pohuda, of the armies of the Russian principalities. In other way, the Russian principalities were applying military force. They were trying to fight the Volga Bulgarians, so the Volga Bulgarians were able to resist. Between the 11th and the 12th centuries, the Volga Bulgarians thrived. This is the time when they blossomed, and there is much evidence about how great of merchants they were, and again how advanced their culture, civilization was, as typically Bulgarians in antiquity have brought up a lot of that knowledge that I've spoken about in previous videos. Moving on here with our chronology, in the year of 1223 AD, so 1223 AD, those Bulgarians conquered the Mongol army of Genghis Khan. Now, if you guys are informed, if you've read about Genghis Khan, he was one of the cruelest, and pretty much like nobody else was able to defeat him, but the Bulgarians defeated him. And so it must have been, I don't know, it's just, all I can say is at this point, it can make a wonderful epic movie, and I wish that my people someday can get to that point, so the world can watch this, with the technology that we have to see what actually happened. Anyways, going back to our chronology, up to the 70s of the 13th century, the Mongols took over the Volga Bulgaria. Volga Bulgaria. So basically the Mongols continued to fight, continued to invade, until they basically rummaged and defeated the Bulgarians in the Volga River region. So that country fell. In 1438 through 1552 AD, the Khaganate of Kazan. This is Kazansko Khanstvo. So you guys would say in English, the Khaganate of Kazan. This was the last state of the Volga Bulgarians there. So they ceased from existence. They were defeated. There are many other sources that have pointed to facts that many of them must have fled back to their brothers and sisters in the other Bulgarias. And so I'll continue to dig and collect resources to share with you, like I said, in the future. But it is a heartbreaking story. But it's also interesting, in terms of human choices, human fate. And I don't speak of fate in a way of, how can I say, I do not speak of fate in terms of like some kind of predetermined, superstitious kind of a story. That's not what Orthodox Christianity explains about fate at all. Humans have free will, free choice, and our choices have consequences. And history shows a lot of that. That's why I'm a lover of history, because the more I dig into the chronology and the true facts, the more wisdom I can gain about human life. Even when I think about the Bible, I have encountered nowadays many people who tell me that, black and white, like the Old Testament says this, and that's what they did in the Old Testament, so we should this, we should that. I say it's a very black and white thinking, very rigid way of viewing it, and it's not the Orthodox Christian way of viewing the Old Testament anyway. The Old Testament is a narrative of history. It's a historic account, a narrative of human interpretation, human choices, human actions and behavior. So when we read it without adulterating and changing it, like nowadays there are people who are proposing we should change and take out some of the scriptures, I say that's not necessary. That's actually corrupted, because how can we learn from our ancestors' choices if we don't know in truth what they did, or what their choices were? So I will leave you with this. You guys can ponder, marinate on these reflections. I hope that you enjoyed this short summary of the chronology of the years of the Bulgarian countries or states during the Middle Ages. I will continue to share information with you all. The day is wonderful. It is October 7th here, and the sun and the temperature are just perfect. So I'm going to continue to enjoy this. And I was hoping to catch up with some farmer market people that we had, but I missed them. So I ended up preparing some of my material for future videos, and that's how I found myself here. I am going to prepare for guests later, so I will be heading back to my house and tidying up, and so I will share more videos as my time allows in the future. So I hope you have a great rest of the day and the weekend and the week, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.